Show me your war face. I said show me your war face.
You don't scare me. Work on it.
Are you ready for the Mirrorless Wars? What's up, guys? Mark back here with another Morning Jolt episode. Hope you guys have been enjoying it. And if you have, don't forget to hit that like button, that thumbs up button. And if you're really digging it, why don't you consider subscribing? That would be super cool. Okay, so I guess first things first, everyone, even including myself, have been putting like the word war or wars in their videos. Like, I hadn't seen any of these. As a matter of fact, I put my video out really early yesterday, so if anything, everyone copied me. Just kidding. I don't really give a crap. Yesterday evening, I did happen to get word, and you know, I'm subscribed to a lot of photography channels. You should bounce ideas off your peers, whether you want to or not. You know, just kind of check your own reality, just kind of bouncing that information back and forth. It's good to check your reality and your biases. And let's just admit it, we all have our biases, right? We all have things that we think are awesome, that are the best, that work really well for us, have proven themselves in our day-to-day lives, and those are the things that help you develop a relationship with whatever it is you happen to be using, whether it's your car, whether it's your, I don't know, your life insurance, or your camera. So with everyone throwing these terms around like mirrorless wars, camera wars, everything's a war. To be perfectly honest, everything that you've ever done, that you've ever bought, there's been a secret war. It's just called competition. People are trying to outdo one another so that they can bring the best product that they possibly can conceive to market and make themselves a lot of money. It's called the profit motive. I just want to say right up front, I have my own biases about, you know, the different cameras that I use, but the thing of it is I use a lot of different cameras. I like a lot of different cameras because I think that all of them do something different than the rest. And when we start talking about wars and this, that, and the other, the reality is they all are competing for your dollars. But the problem with the state of affairs as is that none of them do everything, right? So I have literally invested in multiple systems. I have literally invested in different types of cameras because each one of them does something unique. Each one of them brings something very interesting to the table. Now, if it ever gets to the point where we start distilling down and one camera company does finally do everything, I thought it was going to be Sony. And it still might be, but I'm not really for sure. I want to only have to own one camera. I want to only have to own one system, buy one set of lenses, you know. That would be nice. That would make my life so much easier. I wouldn't have to drag one for video, one for stills, one for excellent sharp image quality, the other for a softer, you know, more pleasing skin tone style. You've got so many different options, and that's a good thing. The wars, as far as I'm concerned, have always been raging. There's always going to be somebody fighting and competing and innovating and bringing new products to market, competing for your camera dollars. And as of right now, there are several different companies that have won my dollars. When it comes to my computing, Apple has won my dollars. I have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro right here in front of me. I bought the smart keyboard. I bought the pencil, the iPhone 10, an Apple Watch. I've got a big-ass iMac here behind me. They have earned my dollars. But when it comes to cameras, it's not as cohesive as Apple is. I mean, when I start something on one device, I can literally pick up one of my other devices and finish that job. I can literally hear a phone call happening on my watch, take the call as I'm walking into the house so that the phone doesn't ring for very long, and then pick that call up either on my phone, on my computer, or on my iPad. With cameras, it's not that way. So just a quick sampling. I want to let everyone know that I am recording this episode on a Canon camera because it had everything that I wanted for this particular situation scenario. I didn't want to have to worry about autofocus. Canon's dual pixel is phenomenal. I also wanted to be able to see myself and frame myself, so I have a flip out screen and the completely touch interface on this camera is just out of this world. It is very, very close at this point to being smartphone-esque. But I also have other camera systems. I have Sony. I have Fuji. I own film cameras. The people that are competing for my film dollars, most of the time it ends up being Ilford HP5. So Ilford wins my film dollars. But the thing of it is that all of these camera companies, oh, wait, I forgot. An iPhone 10 has won my pocketable film dollars, my pocketable camera dollars. So as I said, each one does something really, really well, but none of them do all of it. If I could have picked up this camera, this is the Fujifilm X-T100. And while the image quality from this camera is, in my opinion, pretty damn close to being on par with some of their more expensive cameras like the X100F or the X100T or the XT2 or the X Pro 2. I mean, I like the way Fuji processes their photographs. Some people don't. Some people find them too busy or whatever. I've heard a million different terms for it. But the other thing is that I'm an APS-C shooter. So my Sony is an APS-C, my Fujifilm cameras are APS-C, and this Canon camera is an APS-C. I like the look. I like the size of the glass of APS-C. But as I said, none of them do everything well. This camera takes excellent stills, but it is no good for hybrid. So it has no audio in jack. So the audio is really bad. Again, it's an excellent buy, but it doesn't do everything that I want. So I bought it a long time ago, and I'm planning on keeping it because it's a fantastic stills camera. I bought the Fujifilm X-T2. I've also tried out several other Fuji cameras. I love the glass. Not to mention, they are so well built, and the styling, man, that looks good in that. They're just sexy cameras. What can I say? I mean, I like the look of the camera, but it has excellent image quality. But I also bought this Canon EOS M50 camera. The reason I bought this one is because it is small, lightweight. It has the flippy screen. It is a full touch screen integration. I can see all my settings. I can see that I'm in focus. I can touch and change those settings at any time that I want. It has a hot shoe. It's got a lot of stuff, man. And I mean, I'm still working on a review of this camera, but it has everything that you could possibly want in order to get most of your day-to-day video/photo work done. If you're not doing anything mission critical, if you're not doing anything that requires precision and absolute performance, this camera is actually a pretty amazing camera. Here's the long and short of it. I happened to catch one of Tony and Chelsea's videos. They did a podcast last night. I forget what it's called because I don't watch them very often, but I just happened to do the Nikon video yesterday, and then they had Wars in their video last night, so I thought, let's check it out. So I'm going to show you an image. This is the first screen cap. Tony basically broke down all of the different camera companies for essentially where he thought everything was landing right now. So he had 3 circles, and he's got enthusiast on the left, he's got pro stills on the right, and then he's got pro video down at the bottom. Now, I'm not really for sure exactly why, he's got pro video or pro stills or whatever in any particular area enthusiast. I think that a professional, while it may not be ideal, you could pretty much get whatever it is you wanted with any camera that you picked up. I mean, there have been movies made on a flippin' iPhone. Now, was it ideal? Was it the perfect picture? No, but it's about telling a story. It's about conveying a message, and an iPhone, a cell phone in general, will tell that story with the right vision, the right tools, the right creative direction. And I've been saying this for a long, long time, so this is nothing new. I'm not just out here swinging and pissing in the wind. Like, that's actually the way it is. At this point, no camera company makes just shit. They really don't. They all have their strengths, and they all do have their weaknesses. So anyway, he broke them down to enthusiast. He's got Canon, Fujifilm, Olympus in the enthusiast category. In the pro stills, the only one he's got is Sony. And then in pro video, he's got Panasonic. Now, to be fair, he did delineate that this was for mirrorless only. Here are the couple of points that I'm going to have to make. While I do agree with Sony, they're basically batting in all directions, right? They're going for pro stills, they're going for the enthusiast market, and they are going for pro video. But Canon, this is actually a pretty good camera as far as I'm concerned. I think that with the EF to ES, EFM adapter, but the adapter that you can put standard Canon lenses onto these mirrorless cameras, I think that you could get a lot done with this system. With the right tools, sliders, gimbals, whatever, you can do pro video with damn near any of these cameras. Like I said, you could do pro video with an iPhone. You just need some extra tools. You're not going to get pro results just right out of the box. But they also dipped Fujifilm in there, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and Olympus. I don't know enough about Olympus. I'll be honest with you. I've never once been all that interested in Olympus cameras. Maybe I think Olympus needs a better marketing team, really. And I will agree with the Panasonic doing pro video. The one thing that they do not do well as far as video is concerned is autofocus. Look, Panasonic guys, I know you're going to hate me, but autofocus on your cameras sucks so bad. And here's just a couple of facts. This is a profession. People that are solo, they need to be able to see themselves. They need to be able to check settings. They need to be able to check a histogram. They need to be able to, check focus. They need this. This is a profession. Like billions upon billions of dollars are being made off videos just like this one. Solo people, no crew, nobody helping them out. They need this. This is a pro feature, and the autofocus is absolutely crucial. I know that it was one of the number one considerations for me. That's the reason a lot of people are using the Sony systems for both their YouTube work and the professional work. When they're doing it for YouTube work and they're all by themselves, they have to buy an extra piece of gear. They have to buy a field monitor or whatever in order to see themselves to do exactly what I'm doing with a $700 camera right out of the box. But Fujifilm is doing pro work with their mirrorless cameras. I mean, their lenses are off the charts amazing. Not to mention they have medium format, which is even more pro than the pros. If you're doing anything high-end fashion photography, if you're doing anything as far as like magazine covers or anything like that, you're using a medium format camera. You need and want that extra resolution. You want all the technical aspects of medium format, even over full frame. So for them to say that Fujifilm is not competing in the pro market, I found that completely false. Like I said, I don't know much about Olympus, but I do think that Canon, this camera is actually good, the M50, and even though they have gimped it artificially, I do think that because the capability is in this camera, but they've just artificially wrecked it so that it doesn't eat into their higher end line of cameras, I think that whatever they end up producing is going to be pretty damn fantastic. And if Panasonic, for the love of Christ, if they could ever once, just once, switch from contrast-based only to phase detection, a hybrid system, Panasonic's going to kill it. Now, last but not least, they've got Nikon and Pentax down here in the bottom right-hand corner. I don't know what the hell these camera companies are going to end up doing. I don't hear much out of Pentax anymore. I do know that Pentax does have several loyal users still. I don't know any of them, but they do seem to still get some attention from time to time. But if Nikon, because they're live view, video focused stuff, everyone is a hybrid shooter. Every single one of these camera companies has absolutely no choice. They're either going to have to deliver the hybrid stuff or they're just not going to make it. People do too much. It's both video and stills. Anyone that takes their YouTube seriously, they're not going to record on their phone. So while you basically have everything technically you need with a cell phone, you need to have an offering that does excellent video and stills. But the long and short of all of this is that no one camera company is doing everything right. The closest one to doing everything right is, in fact, Sony. If they would just put a flip touchy screen and revamp that menu system, Sony would own this market. They would blow everyone else away. But for whatever reason, I don't know what the hell they're waiting on. If they had actually made some type of system that had a flip screen, I wouldn't be sitting here with a Canon M50 right now, I tell you. So anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you all today. Those are my thoughts on, cameras in general. And so do you think we're in a war? Who do you think is going to win? I'd really like to know, honestly. What camera are you even shooting with right now? What brand? Are you brand loyal? Are you brand agnostic like I am? Do you not really care who makes the camera as long as it does exactly what you bought it to do? Thanks again for stopping here at The Morning Jolt. I'm your host, Mark Bucket, and I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow morning. Peace.